Hey, welcome to Swapmoto Live, presented by Ogio. I'm Don Maeda, the editor-in-chief of Transworld Motocross magazine. I'm here in the studio with my crazy friend, Robbie Maddison, who's done things that have made my stomach hurt watching. So, you've kind of been on the side of a milk carton lately, Matto. Like, where have you been?
To be honest, I don't know, man. I kind of had a point. I think everyone gets there, but I've been, like almost 15 years flat out, just going around the world, pushing myself, pushing the limits, thinking outside the box. And all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, I started having children, and it just changes things. I kind of just got to a point where I just need a break, I feel like, and I was kind of mentally exhausted. I kind of, what really happened is the water bike project where I was riding my dirt bike on the water, I got super involved into that, and then I had this dream of like riding it in a barrel, and pipe dream, we didn't get to show that, and it became super challenging. But recently the bike developed a lot and rode really well, and I kind of wanted, it was dragging on too long. I kind of felt like I was beating a dead horse, but I knew that I just wanted to finish what I started. It was important to me, so I kind of set out after it and failed, unfortunately. I was working with Samsung, and we had a plan to have the content embedded in the new phones, and it was all going to be great. And then at the 11th hour of the project, we had all this footage shot that we got that was sitting on and keeping it super tight, and I was excited to have something new and fresh hit and hopefully hit a home run. And then I missed the wave, the swell turned, and we'd waited 6 months for it, and we ran out of time. We had to go, and I had a new baby that was getting born the next day, so I had to fly from Fiji, go home, and I kind of realized on the plane that it was all over, the dream was done, and it affected me a lot. So I just took some time out to try and just find what I wanted to do and find myself, I guess, again. And so I've been going through that, and coming out the other side now. We just it's as you get older, just things change. We have some illness in the family, so it's been a little tough just giving support, and they're back in Australia, so my wife's going back there with the kids soon, and those kinds of things have been kind of just making things not as easy as to get back in the rhythm that I used to be in. So life's changing for me, but it's exciting. I'm kind of back now and partnered back with the unit, and so we got a lot of exciting stuff happening there, and got some projects and some new management behind me, and kind of restructured my whole program. So I feel like I'm kind of back and just starting to ease my way into it. Starting off with some flat track recently, and the flat track stuff's exciting, but beyond flat track, I'm just trying to get back on the bike. I'm trying to get my body to a point, because I had double surgery as well during that time off. So that was actually the real reason that really stopped things moving forward, is I had surgery. And so there's a lot of things obviously that are all happening at one time, but just get my body back in shape, and looking to do the Western Beach race later in the year, and Red Bull Knockout in Europe, and shooting some content like I've known for, shooting some kind of cool different type of content in Europe to help promote the series, and gonna try my luck at beach racing. So I got to get fit and strong. I felt it was a good goal to set myself that would make me commit to getting my body back in shape. So I've been at it. I've been trying to just kind of stay grounded and not really on social media and stuff like that. I haven't really been posting too much stuff, just because I want to try and get everything sorted before I worry about trying to be pushing what I'm doing, because I know that right now things are still a little slow, but I'm just mindful I don't want to rush in too quick, because I'm getting older. I can't be as crazy as I once was. Yeah.
All right. I can't even imagine the number of broken bones you've had, but I know that, like, we've been together. I think we were filming for one of my movies once, and you crashed real early in the day, and you're like, no, we'll be okay. And you went in your garage and you pulled out like horse racing liniment that you put on horse legs, and you rubbed it on your arm, and you're all, yeah, I'm okay now. And then I was like looking at it, and it's like, not for use on humans. And you've gone through some extreme measures to ride through the pain.
For sure, I've been through some super extreme measures. My left knee, I've snapped the ACL when I was 9 years old, and I didn't have it repaired the first time until I was like almost 30. So I had so much, I ran long distance all through school and was super active as a kid, and during that period I destroyed my knee. So I've been told I have a knee at the age of a 9-year-old man, and so they're like, you definitely need a knee replacement, but I'm still a little bit young to get the full replacement knee. So I had an osteotomy just recently where they broke my leg and changed the angle on it to kind of make the pressure in the knee joint happen on the outside of the knee instead of the inside, where all the meniscus and cartilage is missing. But arthritis pain in there kind of it's been tricky because now my knees, I mean, it's just destroyed. So I'm trying to get by with a really, less than ideal knee.
Yeah.
So the body's taking a toll. I'm feeling it, but it kind of like it limits me in what I should do, but I think it's in a good way too, because if I kept going down the road I was going down, there's only one way that would have ended. And I got 3 kids, so I'm trying to think about making my life as long as I can. And you can get stuck in the rush of trying to do these crazy things that you come up with I come up with these crazy ideas all the time, and for the most part in the past it's always been like, yeah, I'm going to do that, I'm going to commit to it. But nowadays I'm like, there's some things that I have ideas for that could be possible if I really kind of pursued them, but I'm just trying to stick true to what my original things were and not trying to add anything to my plate. But I've had a pretty wild idea since I've been a young kid, and I definitely am committed to seeing that through, and my goal is to try and get that accomplished by 2020. And I think at that point it'll be a time to kind of just I definitely want to stay in the industry because all my friends are here and I love it. But just more. I wanted at that point, I'll be 38 years old, so time to start looking at helping the people coming through and help the grassroots of the sport and try and keep this industry alive.
Cool. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to try to get this crazy idea out of his head. Have him tell us.
Hey guys, Marvin Muscan here. Leatt is giving away one leg brace every week during 2018. For your chance to win, send your best thrill moment, and for more details, check out Leatt on social media.
Since 1973, FMF has been about getting more out of riding motorcycles. More power, more wins, more fun. Innovation and American craftsmanship makes FMF today's leader in performance. FMF, feel the power.
Hey, welcome back to Swapmoto Live, presented by Ogio. We're here with Robbie Maddison, who kind of hinted at this big crazy idea he's got. Are you going to give us a clue, or is it a secret for now?
I think it's still a secret. One thing's for sure, that I will deliver on it, or I will expose what I'm working on if I can't figure it out. But the water bike has been such a good thing for me personally. Just seeing how a development of an idea goes, and the work that goes into it, and the R&D. For the most part, the last 5 years I've been R&Ding this bike on the water myself, with a kind of like a Neanderthal kind of way about things, because I'm not that computer savvy. I don't really know how to use SolidWorks and stuff like that. So, but there's people that are specialists in those departments, and for me, my philosophy in life is, if I'm trying to achieve something, I find the best people in their individual paths. I have my own talents, but obviously they're not in every field. So I definitely have been mindful of that, and the past has shown that my method was just it worked, but it was taking far too long. And at the end, I kind of left with the product that was kind of less than standard as far as like, you know, the quality of it. Even though it may have functioned, it wasn't that pretty. So I've been slowly using different people to join the team and help me out, and now I've found some guys that have some really amazing technology, and so I'm in the midst of starting a company now to help, you know, make the concept of riding a bike on water, commercialize it, and it's exciting. I have a way now of I think that I can bring it to the people, and it'll be quite easy to retrofit, and I think it'll be environmentally friendly. So all these things I'm trying to overcome, but yeah, I want to see that through, because I think it's something that everyone should try. And speaking of that, I think we should look at trying to get some guys on the bike and test it. We've spoken about this before, but I think it's time now to try and to, you know, cover the bike and get some people out there.
Okay.
Get their opinions. You should ride it at least. Would you ride it?
Yeah, I already look like I have a flotation device on anyway. So, but hey, okay. So I've been on with you. There was the airplane graveyard. That was cool. There was the Tahiti thing, the riding on the wave, which was pretty miserable, by the way, because all the mosquitoes and the no screen doors anywhere.
Yeah. And the coral infecting people.
Definitely. Yeah, Garth still has butt problems right now. You know that, right? Yeah. But okay, so all these crazy things you've done, what's the number one thing that made you the most scared?
I think initially it was probably jumping on and off the building in Vegas. It's hard to go past that. Yeah. I remember the fear going through me. Red Bull built a facility that I was able to rehearse that project at, and I got out there in the valley in Piru Canyon, and it was 10 stories high, the top of it. I went to the top, and I literally went weak at the knees and fell down and kind of didn't chunder like a power view, but I definitely threw up in my mouth and was spat and was physically sick. I didn't feel great at all. I was nauseous is probably the best word. And I went down, I was like, man, I was just really having second guesses. And my wife, the whole way through that whole project, she was like, you can stop at any time, you know, we can go home to Australia and live a different life if that's what you want to do. You don't have to go through this. And, you know, obviously I didn't want to die out there, and no one wanted to see me die, but I really wanted to, I just believed deep in myself that I was capable of it, and I knew the physics made sense, but it was just dealing with the battle of fear, and so it's something that I think all motocross races, we deal with it since we've been kids, you know, where it's a double at the local track or if it's a triple at Supercross, whatever it is, you deal with a certain element of fear, and obviously I kind of just kept dealing with that, and the jumps got bigger and bigger over my career, and it got to the point of understanding that the physics work to go up and down on a building, and so for some point I had to prove it to myself, and that was what allowed me to just let go of the fear and find out. I was willing to, I'd done all my homework, I'd worked out as hard as I could, and you know, I had amazing support with Red Bull and all the guys who supported that idea, and we got to a point of I was just like, you know, I'm willing to find out. I know that I've got it, and there's always the little things your mind can trick you to, but I think your mind's, well, we all know the mind's, you're only worthy of where your head's at. So I was able to kind of just let go of the negativity and believe in it, and worked out. But that one was definitely rocked me. But after accomplishing that, then that mindset allowed me to get through a lot of other things, like the Corinth Canal in Greece was insane. But I'm not sure. I think the future project that I talked about before is definitely going to require really harnessing that and being in control of that again. So I've done my homework. It's going to take a lot more work, but I don't know. It's just like something that I've always been really, I've had a desire about it, is pushing myself. So I'm not done yet, unfortunately. So
I know your practice facility out in Wyvern, the scaffoldings and stuff. I mean, I saw the structure. So you're working on that, then you go to Vegas and you actually see the Arc de Triomphe replica there. The dimensions, they may have been the same, but because it was real and it was a building, was it more intimidating?
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that visually changed there. The most part is that in Piru you could see right through the structure.
Yeah.
And so when we got there you couldn't, and then in Piru the landing ramp was 70 70 feet tall, which is like 7 stories, and the jump itself was 10. So essentially you only had like this 3-story gap. And I didn't want it to visually look like that. Well, I just didn't want it to visually look like that, because I felt like for the layman, you could look at it and say, oh, it's not that far, you could land at the top. But, you know, in the practice, I'd always jumped and land right towards the bottom. So I was like, well, I'm not using over half of this, let's get rid of it. So we got rid of that, and that really changed a lot for me, because it was a lot of work to get rid of it. And then once it was gone, I realized it created this huge flat deck and a knuckle, and visually from the top, it just looked like death. You didn't want to deal with it. That's why I give it that little bit more, because I knew on the night, and in the practice, the goal was to go off there in 3rd gear and just idle off, barely letting the bike, just you want to be chugging forwards without stalling. And so it was a risk in that, because if it went chug and locked up, it would obviously be pretty bad news at that point. But was able to kind of roll off, and then right as I rolled off, I just gave a little hint of gas just to make sure I didn't hit that knuckle. And on the way off, I was like, oh, dude, I thought I've overdone it. I'm done here. Yeah. And so I just held on I thought I was going to die on the way down, and then I just held on for the best. And luckily, I'd worked out a lot with Ryan Hughes, and we'd worked for 8 months on making my core as strong as possible. And I got to a point of strength that I'd never been at before. So I hope to get back to that soon here. But that's what saved me was the homework. Was being strong. I was able to, even though I was out of control, my core stability was good enough where I was still able to clamp the bike with my legs. And I remember when time slowed down. Did you think
of all those things? Clamp, hold on tight.
No, luckily it just came second nature, because I don't know, just riding the whole life, it just some things just activate. But when you're in that point, I think anyone, you kind of go into instinct mode, and you just automatically do everything that's right in the moment. And so I was clamping, and then I remember just looking at everyone's feet, and I had my throttle hand blew off the bike, so it was like down near the ground, and I pulled my thumb off my hand and split all the webbing open with the left hand, which is still on the bike. And so as I'm like out of control, both wheels are sliding sideways, and I remember looking at all these people's legs thinking, I can't believe I'm crashing in front of the world right now. And then all of a sudden, the deck that I was on, it had a drop in it, went over the parking lot, and as I went off that, sliding out of control sideways, it just stood me right back up. And
I meant to do that.
Saved by the setup of the location, and it was never like that in the practice. So that was definitely something I didn't rehearse.
Yeah. So I watched that live, and dude, my stomach was turning watching it. You know, it's like been different if it was just some schmo that I didn't know, but we're buddies, right? So I was just sincerely concerned about you, you know.
Me too.
And so my wife and I are watching it. You land, you make it. You're like going like this with the cut on your hand, and you thank all these people. And my wife's all, that guy's a dick. He didn't thank his wife. Have you ever been called out for that?
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. See, I got your back, Amy.
Yeah. Well, she knows where it's at. I mean, it was a lot going on in my head. I was just like, and I think was my manager, because he was standing there right next to me, hugging me, pushing my wife off, and I just couldn't really gain my thoughts. But I was trying to say something inspirational. But my wife knows, and I think people who know me know that
definitely
we're this tight. So it's not about that. It's about the love you show every day, and I definitely work hard at that point. So.
Well, on that note, let's talk about family, man. You got is it a third son?
Yeah.
3 boys, dude. You got your hands full.
You tell me about it. It's
so there's Cruzy, there's Jagger, and
Rocco.
Rocco. Hey, Rocco.
Yeah.
But what's it like having three boys?
It's great to see the dynamic of the family kind of shift a bit, you know, because before just the 2 eldest would kind of bicker a little bit, but now that they have Rocco, I think, to me, it seems like they realize now that they share something.
Yeah, they're taking care of
it. So it's good to see the dynamic. I mean, the worst part of it is you got the older one, and they all, because they're brothers, they're all kind of somewhat trying to be on his level. So we've got these 2 younger guys trying to race forwards and keep up with a 7-year-old. And Cruz is super laid back and mellow. For those who knows him, knows what he's like. But he's put him on a dirt bike and have him make his own decisions, and he likes to hold it pinned and he likes to jump. But yeah, I mean, it's all trying to get this balance right. I could spend every single moment pushing my career, but I've also really been trying to be mindful of giving time to my boys. So I think that I'm trying to do more of it too. You know, I'd like to have somewhere, like I'd like to be able to get around him a bit more and take him riding and stuff like that. Unfortunately, with our situation, like because I'm from Australia and our family's in Australia and they need our help now. Like we're finding that our family's been divided a lot recently, so that's been tough on all of us. But yeah, it's just a period of time that we're in, and it's all good, right?
Last question. Cruzy's obviously going kind of daredevil on you guys, but like, are you gonna let him fall in your footsteps and do all this crazy shit, or are you gonna buy him a soccer ball?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, and for the most part, I've just been letting him go about it himself. And I think where it really comes down to is obviously your parents' involvement. It's like what we initially focus on and make them believe is a good idea to do, then they go and do it, right? So the other day, we were watching golf, and I pulled out the golf club, and I got a little chipping range out the front, and he runs out the back and puts on his orange Ricky Fowler shirt, comes blasting out, and he's like, puts on his golf clubs on his shirt, he comes walking out, he's like, Dad, we're playing golf, can we go to the driving range? And I was like, I just came out here to clear my head and hit a few balls. I'm like, I ain't got time to go to the driving range right now, but it's cool, he's got that motivation, and he's a listener, you know, he hits the ball nice and straight, and he can drive it like good old, 100 odd yards, so they love it. You know, we all love golf, so hopefully we can, my goal would be to retire and play golf every day, but I don't know if my back can handle it. Maybe 2 years riding dirt bikes and too many crashes, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to just put the golf club in his hand and think that he's going to follow that, but the unfortunate part is since he's been in a pram in diapers, he sits there and watches guys do backflips in the front yard every day. So
it's normal for him.
Yeah, they just want to jump by. He told me before, Dad, I'm going to jump a dirt bike further than you have. So,
oh, God.
But I asked him the other day what he wants to be, and he said a professional jetpack bike rider, jetpack skateboarder, or jetpack something else. So all these games these days have jetpacks in them, so everything he talks about is with jetpacks. So who knows, there might be something in the future that's wilder or more enjoyable for them, safer, who knows. But I just roll with the punches. I mean, I'd like to get him in the water and start surfing a bit too. You know, that's how I grew up, was surfing and riding BMX bikes. So I'd like to kind of revisit that. But for now, we're riding dirt bikes, and we go to the track, and I just follow them around and try and make sure their elbows are up and they're clamping their legs. And you know, I think for the most part it's been pretty good. You know, I don't push them. I'm kind of paranoid about taking them to the track and going racing, blowing them up at a gate. But I think, you know, we'll see. Yeah. It's not just my call. There's a boss at home that has to approve everything.
Definitely, right? So I would say gold medalist, stuntman for the movies, crazy things that you've accomplished. Your greatest accomplishment is Dad.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you can't go past the love of your children. These moments have been great, but they only last for the moment. Once to move on, you got to keep searching. But your family kind of, you know, you have these triumphs and they're still there, and you're still molding them, and you're growing together. So it's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's definitely the most important thing. So I mean, that's where we're dealing with now. Is just we're older, and everyone around us is getting older. So you got to realize it's hard thing for us because we've moved to America to follow this dream, and half of our family's in Australia. So it's a tough one. But you know, we love it out here, and our goal is to stay here. So we'll just now I'm fit enough to get back on the bike. I'm excited to kind of doing that and getting the yard trimmed back up, and you know, just getting the kids. They've been bugging me to jump into the foam pit, so it's inevitable.
Well, hey, Robbie, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Don.
It's good to have you. So if you liked the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, bookmark transworldmx.com, and of course, follow the insane, crazy Robbie Maddison on Instagram. Thanks for watching.